guys, this is Chris Cox here for KISS guitar lesson number 18. This is going to be off Dress to Kill. This is two-timer. So we're going to start with the intro riff. The intro riff is played, first basically playing the open E string, and then we're sliding in with a power chord to the A position. So it sounds like this. And then that chord is played on the 5th fret, the low E, 7th fret of the A. So open E, slide. We're going to go back to the open E string again. And we're going to slide into the C sharp, which is played on the 9th fret of the low E and the 11th fret of the A. So this is what we have so far. Pauses right there on the A before we go into the verse. Now the verse is basically all power chords, just like the intro. It starts off on the B, so that it's going to be a B power chord. First finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the A. Your ring finger or 3rd finger is going to be on the 4th fret of the D string. And we're basically just playing downstrokes. Then we switch to the A. So you're going to be playing open A string. You're going to borrow your first finger, or you can do your first finger and middle finger here on the 2nd fret of the D and the G. And we're going to shift all the way up to the E power chord. That's going to be on the 7th fret of the A string, 9th fret of the D string, back to the B. Then we go back to the A string and play 2 downstrokes, and then everything repeats. So let's play that through one time slowly, all of it together. And that whole thing will repeat back. Now, the second time through, we have this little chord change or riff that is takes us into the pre-chorus. And so if we come back up and we're going, so all we're doing is just moving that power chord down and up. So the power chord sits same position, 2nd fret, 4th fret. We're just going to shift that. So if you can maintain that pattern with your hand, nothing really changes other than the fret. So we're doing downstrokes. 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. Do that one more time. Once we get to the 4th fret, we're playing this little blues type shuffle. That's you hear this a lot on Dress to Kill, Getaway. You'll hear this, I believe, Room Service as well. So it's basically, you've got your first finger on the 4th fret of the A, your ring finger or 3rd fingers on the 6th fret of the D, and you're pivoting back and forth on the 8th fret of the D. But you're playing the A and D string, so it's. A, and then we're going from the B power chord, same thing here, it's just played up here on the 2nd fret of the D and 4th fret of the G, just easier, quicker to grab there. Back to the B, shift back to the 4th fret, play the shuffle, and then we go back to the B. This is where we go into the riff, single note riff. The riff starts off as this. So basically you're playing 2 downstrokes on the C sharp, which is the 4th fret of the A, to the 2nd fret of the A string. Then we're going to shift to the E string and play 4th fret, 2nd fret, open E. So we have this so far. It repeats again. This little lick right here takes us back so we can repeat the riff. It's going to be from the 4th fret of the E to the 2nd fret of the A. So And that last little part, basically, I'm just taking a finger and just sliding it on the E string up the fretboard and back down. And then we go back into that intro riff. So you play the whole thing slowly. Back to the intro. Get back into the beat, back to that riff again. So the chords underneath the guitar solo are the same chords for the verse. It's going to be B, A, E, back to B, and then we do the little riff. Back into the chorus. So that's pretty much all the rhythm guitars for the intro, verses, pre-chorus, and chorus. Alright, so we're on to the killer guitar solo here. Ace does nice double stops he plays there, lots of chordal type licks in this solo. So it's going to start off in the blues scale in B minor. And that whole solo is going to be based around that scale. So we're on the 9th fret of the G string, and we're doing basically barring across the 7th fret of the B and high E string. So we get a. Now, when you hit these, the G and B string together, you kind of want that you want to hit those together to get that chordal. So basically you go get those two strings together and play the 7th fret of the B and E. Repeats again. Now that part is just we're basically bending up on the E note of the 9th fret of the G. So it's bend up, back down, and then we're coming to the 7th fret of the G. Or you can pull off there. I think it feels easier to pull off. We're basically grabbing that 9th fret on the D string and pivoting back to the 7th fret on the G string. So we have this so far. And then we basically play from the 7th fret to the 9th fret back to the 7th. Now from here we're doing this little pattern. It's basically, so we're on the 11th fret of the G string and we're barring our finger across the 10th fret of the B and high E. So we go and we shift down a half step. That's going to be on the 9th fret of the B and high E. And then we play that 11th fret of the G, and then we end on the 7th fret. And that's again, we're barring across the B and high E string, so it sounds like this. Let's play what we have so far. Okay. From here, we're going to do a chordal type lick bend. It's kind of like a pedal steel sounding bend. You're basically going to have your ring finger on the 12th fret of the B. Pinky finger is going to be on the 12th fret of the high E. And we're going to play those two strings together and bend up. So I'm bending up. Release. Pull off to the 10th fret of the B. Grab the 11th fret of the G. Play the 10th fret of the B 2 times. This one's a little tougher because we're gonna bar the pinky finger across the B and high E, and we're going to go. Okay, so that's basically you're bending up. It's okay to hit those two strings when we hit that G string on the 11th fret. Okay, let's play what we have so far. Last part, we're on that 11th fret of the G, pulling off to the 9th fret of the G, and then coming back to the 11th fret of the D. And then we're going to be here playing another double stop chordal thing on the 9th fret of the G and B string. We're going to do a bend 2 times. I'm going to slide down. So we're going to go, that's basically sliding down on the G string to the 16th fret and then grabbing the 15th fret of the B. And I'm rocking back and forth on the 17th fret of the B string. So I'm bending up, releasing back down. So it sounds like. Now that's again, we're bending up, pulling off from the 17th to the 15th fret on the B string, and landing back on the 16th fret of the G, and then we're going to bend up in a whole step and then add vibrato. So it sounds like this. So let's play that whole solo through slowly. And that is the entire guitar solo for 2 times.